Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's episode 6 of the Halo TV series, and they made what into a TV series? Solace, directed by Jonathan Liebsman, written by Silka Louisa and Stephen Kane. We're up to episode 6. It's weird to already be facing on the end of this show, or this season anyway, at least. We begin with John dealing with his memories and seemingly denying the urge to fuck up Halsey. I love that start where he's just looking at her and you're like, yep, he just wants to batter her.
Yep.
He then finds himself next to Kai, who's been operated and having been quite badly hurt in the battle from the previous episode. Cortana talks to John and tells him he needs medical attention and the Keystone has messed up his mind. He's been playing around with it too much, basically. It's the one ring. Keep it too long and it's going to mess you up.
Yep, definitely, yeah.
Jacob arrives and talks to Chief, and they've not been able to track the Covenant after they left the planet. He then looks over and sees Miranda checking on Makee. Makee claims to have been a prisoner of the Covenant since childhood, something that bothers Chief, as he sees a connection there between the idea that she was kidnapped and he was kidnapped.
Yep.
The surviving UNSC forces of the Iridius 2 mission return to Reach. Evan departs the ship except Halsey, and John locks her in a lab. Love this sequence!
Yep.
He sets about planning, basically, to flood her lab with radiation. All so he can see what Cortana's limits are.
Yes.
Can she control them? This is incredible.
Yeah, he's sort of figured out now that Cortana is sort of like basically...
a spy.
Yeah, spy.
Yeah, he's worried about what Cortana can do.
Yeah.
And he's wondering that if he tries to kill Halsey, will Cortana be able to force him to do something that he doesn't want to do?
Yep.
But it turns out she can't. And John gets Halsey out the last second, declaring that he won't save her for what comes next. So he's got no love for Halsey anymore.
No.
The UNSC takes Makee into their custody, and rightfully, they don't trust her.
Yeah.
Basically, they even talk about it. The Covenant don't take prisoners.
Nope.
Why did they take her?
Do you think that the old John would have killed her?
No.
No.
No. He would have seen as I think he's acting the same way he would have done. I don't think he's a murderer. I think he would have just killed her outright.
Yep.
But there's an argument he may not have listened to what she was saying. Because Makee is offering Covenant information, but only to Master Chief. The top UNSC people are questioning Parangosky and Jacob about the recent failures of the Spartan program. And basically telling them, look, you need to start getting results because we're losing a lot of men and the Spartans aren't really doing anything. John goes to interrogate Makee, and we get some Covenant racism from the guards. Unnecessary, guys.
Yeah.
They talk, and it turns to a conversation about the Keystone. Makee says the likely location of the second Keystone is a Covenant holy planet in the Asperio star system. John does not trust her, though. Makee seems to see the demon in him and reveals that he is a blessed one, just like her. So she's saying they're connected by that. John, disturbed by this and his memories, leaves. He reports to Jacob as we see him ordering the Covenant holy planet to be found. So basically starts scanning the Asperio star system. But their understanding of that system is nothing lives there.
Yep.
It's a dead system. Halsey is being questioned by a UNSC officer as Parangosky and Jacob secretly watch on. So what they're doing is with this monitor, able to watch the meeting without them knowing they're there.
Yep.
Parangosky is hoping to get information that means that she can basically hang Halsey out to dry instead.
Yep.
Basically offer her superiors up a scapegoat. John arrives though and demands the room, leaving him alone with Halsey. John now learns the true origins of the Spartan program, as do we. They kidnap children to serve as super soldiers, replacing them with terminally ill clones to alleviate suspicions, then subjecting them to augmentations with risk of deformation and death. So the parents would never know anything. Their child would get sick and then die. Pretty fucked up.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, so, I mean, you still obviously don't know if his parents are dead or alive, so...
He still doesn't know anything about his parents. That's that, yeah. Miranda then joins the spying of the conversation. Halsey doesn't mention Jacob or Parangosky's involvement in any of this, though. She also says that everything that's happening to him was worth it for the Keystones, and his connection to it is important. She thinks Halo is about human evolution. And he refuses to team up Halsey, though, and leaves. She got a little bit markerish here.
Yeah.
You know? Like the marker in Dead Space. And I was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But here I think they lay on more than that. That Halsey's obsession is a problem.
Yeah.
And that she may be more villain than good.
Yes.
Having seen and heard enough, though, Miranda leaves and talks to John, who asks her to check if Makee can actually interact with the stone. He is becoming a bit unhinged though, and really doesn't trust Cortana, because obviously Halsey put Cortana there.
Yep.
So why would he? He even threatens to remove it from his head regardless of the consequences. He's very good acting here about being a bit more unhinged. John then shares what he's learned with a recovering Kai. She wants to find her parents, but John tells her that Halsey wiped the records. And he points out that they're still Spartans together, and leaves. Didn't get no love shit here, Damon.
No, of course not.
The Spartans.
Of course not, but then
Brother and sister, mate. Brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you want it to be.
No, I don't.
Because you're looking for it?
It's because it happens in everything, man. Every TV
But it doesn't.
series,
Yeah, but
every
it doesn't
film.
happen in every series. It doesn't happen in every series.
90% of the time it does.
Not less in modern day. In modern day, because most writers now know by putting that angle in there, if it doesn't work in a show, people call it out for being bullshit.
Maybe Kai's his mum. I'm joking.
They're just like they're brother and sister. Yeah. Parangoski meets with Halsey, and I love this. Calls her bluff on admitting everything. Basically, all right, tell everyone you're going to prison. We'll go to prison, but you're going to prison too.
Yep.
She calls her bluff on it, and it works because obviously that's not what Halsey wants. So Parangoski replaces Halsey as leader of all ongoing O&I projects and replaces her with Miranda, including control of the Spartans and control over Cortana. So it's a heavy amount of shit that Halsey loses here. Miranda, meanwhile, asks Mackie for help with the message they received from the attacked UNSC ship, and she agrees to help with the translation. John then goes to a ship to check on his health and has a vision of Quan. The ship basically checks him over and says, "Mate, you are not well," and tells him to go to medical as his status is critical. And we see the UNSC haven't found anything in the Asperos system. Well, obviously the Covenant will probably be hiding their location somehow. We then see Halsey under house arrest, basically, who believes Cortana will find her a way out of being blocked from communicating with her. So she's kind of like, I designed Cortana to be clever. She'll find a way to contact me.
Yep.
Kai meets up with the rest of the Silver team and seems to be struggling to connect with them now she knows what she knows about Halsey. I always got the impression that she might be planning an assassination from the way she was looking at that gun and cleaning it. Yes. Miranda goes to a lab, aka Halsey's ex-lab, but her attempt to access Mackay's test result is denied though, and a message saying "See me" appears on the big screen in front of her. And I was a bit confused about that, but it quickly is clear that it meant go see her mother, Halsey. Halsey tries to argue that Miranda can't work in a Keystone without her, but Miranda isn't having none of it, bringing up the Spartan program. Halsey then tries to act like a mother, something she actually struggles to do. And Miranda leaves after Halsey had a few tears. Yep. And Halsey reveals that it was an act, so she could record something on contact lenses. And I was a bit like, you're the worst. I was not okay with this. Nope. John and Miranda are in the lab, and it reveals that Mackie and John are the same, similar DNA. He goes to her, but he gets frustrated and hits a wall. He's in pain, and Mackie tells him that the Keystone is killing him. She tells him that he needs to stop fighting the visions and give himself over to them. She asks him to take her to the Keystone and it will lead him to the other one, and he'll find peace when both Keystones are reunited. You know, but it's hard to know what Mackie means by that.
Of course, yeah.
Cortana does get through to Halsey, and John refuses to let Mackie near the Keystone even though Miranda wants to. Against Miranda's advice and his own worries, John decides to touch the Keystone. All of this is reported to Halsey via Cortana, who links into John's vitals so she can see what happens. Mackie, frustrated that no one will get chief for her, attacks one of the UNSC workers, but before she can kill the woman, John touches the Keystone. And both John and Mackie simultaneously have seizures from the Keystone's power. John is going to die here. And Cortana wants to shut him down, but Halsey refuses. So there you go.
Yep.
She don't care about John.
No, of course not.
She just wants to get to this fucking, whatever this ring is, Halo. His visions are more intense and reach a crescendo when he has a peaceful vision of himself and Mackie on a Halo ring wall together. And it's a very powerful, beautiful moment. And it ends with him seemingly able to let go of the Keystone, and he seems okay, if not a bit emotional. So I wonder if this was enough for him to get through, because he gave himself over to the visions and
Yep.
stopped fighting them. So it kind of like let him see what he saw. But I also suspect it might mean going forward, he sees Mackay in a different light, because she was there with him.
Yep.
So she's the same as him, really.
Yep.
And that's interesting in itself. I again really like this episode.
Yeah, again.
It is more talky, it's more story development, but I think it was important to push the story on past Halsey
Yep.
into a situation where she's no longer in complete control,
Yes.
but also seeing quite how far she'll go to
Yeah.
get what she wants.
I mean, she's clearly, I don't know, with the bad
Villain
guy,
might be a
she-
strong
yeah,
term,
or-
because it's coming from a location that isn't like the Covenant. It's not destruction and devastation.
Yet.
But she's using people to get what she wants.
Yeah.
She's used the Spartans. She's using her own daughter. Even now she's using Cortana.
Yep.
So I mean, so there's a lot of that going on. And that paints her in a bad light.
Of course, yeah.
I like Parangoski calling her bluff. I like that a lot.
Yep.
I like Mackey's involvement now a lot more as well. I'm intrigued to see where that goes.
Yep.
And elements of that. There's a lot of constant, well, I'm looking to see where this goes. And I am aware that we're not going to get all the answers by the end of the season.
No,
because
no,
we
that's
have been the second season in development. So we'll obviously have more to come.
Yep.
But I'm intrigued to see where this part falls.
Of course, yeah.
And with Mackey being on Reach, I want this season to end with the fall of Reach. I do. I just think that'd be so epic and so fucking cool.
Yep.
And I feel like we're setting up for that by having Mackey on Reach now, and aware after her seizure and seeing John in the ring world, the Halo ring world, that the second keystone is here.
Yep.
So now she really just needs to get a message out to the Covenant.
Yeah.
And then
that's
then
it.
they'll launch an assault.
Yep.
And that's intriguing in itself. I again really enjoyed it. I'm still thoroughly hooked by this show.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely.
Episode 6, Solace. You got any thoughts and you know what to do? Let us know in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?